Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Maria, and if you're new here, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about my very favorite palettes, and I'm going to be talking about like a few different categories. For example, one of them is what I think is the best neutral palette if you're starting out, what is the best rosy palette, what is the best warm tone, what is the best peachy palette. These are all things I wanted to talk about. Often I find that I have repeats in my collection of palettes, and I have tried so many different palettes. I have gotten rid of so many different palettes, and I have been working really hard to curate my collection into something that works for me and functions for me, not for the brands. So let's get into it. Alrighty, so the first palette I'm going to start out with is probably one of my all-time favorite palettes, and most definitely my all-time favorite warm tone palette. And this palette, when it first came out, was literally, like it's in the name, it is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. This palette was literally a renaissance for makeup. This was something that was never done before, something that was completely new and different, and I love this palette. So you're gonna see, it doesn't look like I've used this palette very much, but this is the second palette that I've had. I have actually never repurchased a palette before except for this one. So that'll tell you how much I love this palette. And you can see too, I've had this palette, and now mind you, if you've been following me for a while, my son is 10 months old. I was in a very huge makeup lull for about a year and a half. Being pregnant really took a lot out of me. When I first had him, it took a lot out of me. Probably getting back into it in the last 3-4 months, and just really being more balanced. Like, I love being a mother, but I was thrown for a loop. So I got this before he was born, but I haven't really gotten so much use out of it because, like I said, I haven't been doing makeup for like a year, which makes me sad because I'm like, this is just sitting here for a year. But you can see too, I've gotten back into makeup in the last 3-4 months, and you can see quite a few dips in here. Realgar is probably my favorite shade, that and Red Ochre. So this shade, the orangey shade, and the dark red, deep red burgundy shade. And then I use these 3 shades right here the most for my crease and for my base. And Tempera is what I usually use for my base. Let me correct that. But so I really love this palette. If you want a warm tone palette that also has some neutrals in it, so it does have, it is a very versatile palette. There we go, that's what I'm saying. And what I love about it too is it has a dark brown shade, but not a black shade. So it's really great for, you're not quite a beginner, but you're diving a little deeper into makeup, but not quite at the black yet, because black is so bold and can be so difficult to work with sometimes. So I really like how it's a dark brown shade, and it goes so much better with neutrals and with these warm tone shades. So this is probably my all-time favorite palette that I have ever used, ever had, anything. So yeah. So the next palette I'm going to talk about is the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. And a lot of people would probably say that the original chocolate bar palette is their favorite out of these, but this one is actually my favorite, and I think it's because I have warm undertones, and I just love how these shades come out on me, because they are a little bit more cooler toned, and you can see I have given a lot of love to this palette. I really love this palette. I often use this as my base. I use this as my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight, and then I just totally mix it up, and you can see like this shade, and this shade I haven't used all that much. I really don't like how this one works, and this is a very patchy black, but all of these browns, taupes, I love these. And this gold, like, it looks like it's not a kick in the face, and it's not. It's not like a kick in the face gold, but I just love how this comes out. It's absolutely beautiful. So this is one of my favorite palettes as well. I think it is a great cooler tone, but still has warm tone, neutral palette. And I don't even count this pop of color as a pop of color because I hardly ever use it. I don't think it's very good. So But yeah, so I love the Semi-Sweet Chocolate palette. So the next palette is also by Too Faced, and it is the Sweet Peach palette. So I love this palette. This palette has been raved about for years and years, and there's a good reason why. I absolutely love how pinks and corals look on my skin tone, and how they just come out and they really make my skin tone pop, and I love it. So often you can see, like, I've hit pan on this. I've got a good dent in a lot of different shades, and I've hit pan in a few 3 shades. I can't count. I've hit pan in 3 different shades. I don't like these kind of shades all that much. I do find them pretty chunky. I do use this one every once in a while to do like a grungy look. I'll put this down on my base and then put this down on my eyelid, and do like a grunge look, like a purpley, winey grunge. But anyways, yeah. So I really love this, and I love that it's extremely versatile as well, because you can do corally looks, you can do neutral looks, you can do very subtle looks. It's just, you can do like the dark grungy looks that I was talking about. This is an extremely versatile palette, and I think as well, if you're getting into color, this is a great palette to get into, because it just has so much versatility. So those are my top 3 favorite palettes. If you were to go out tomorrow and want to buy a high-end good palette, any 3 of these would be great choices. Again, I do think that the Sweet Peach and the Modern Renaissance have the most versatility. This is mostly just a neutral palette. If you have any questions about anything that I didn't go over in the video, let me know. Tell me down in the comments. Let's get a conversation going. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!